Cheers, boys.
The major?
Major is over.
Cheers.
All right, so fucking. I guess the thing to obviously start off with is we have our new major champions in Vitality. They have gone an entire season winning every single trophy and still maintain their 30 plus best of three win streak.
Except for Legacy, who's the real champion.
Best of three win
Best of
streak.
threes, yes.
The ones that matter.
True.
Because the major format is dog shit with best of ones, but
Based.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just already be the villain.
okay.
People complain that BO1s, shut up, not bald yet. People complain that that's great.
It's a live ball
This
check.
is
The only
insane.
ball one's this one.
So people complain that
That is
BO,
insane.
hey, lock it. People complain that BO1s aren't good for the game because it can allow for not biased games to happen, but games that don't live up to the maximum potential of the two teams, right? So Vitality has BO1s included in their win streak or not included in their win streak, and IP have BO1s included in their win streak. Wouldn't the BO1s be more impressive? People are like,
No, they are.
Because of
No,
how
it is
random they
because
can
the
be.
lack of variance.
exactly.
in
So
terms of
I'm not saying BO1s are good, but I'm just
But
saying
also,
people
NIP
gotta.
played against plumbers.
Yeah, they did play.
No,
That
no.
was simply Vox and nobody else.
That is true.
Yeah, that was just Sponge.
That was just fun.
That was just.
It was actually
Fuck you, Sponge.
No, I got a picture of him today. That's my dog.
Oh,
He recognizes you.
I know. He walks up and goes, "What's up, Buckethead?" And I go,
Check-
and apparently Machine was talking me up, Machine was talking about me to Fi.
oh.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Fi and Machine. I love everyone. I'm happy to be here. So fuck Vitality though.
Oh, you're still so yeah, Mongols bros. Shout out to 910. He had a rough fucking final map and he feels bad about it, but he shouldn't because he was the highest rated player of the playoffs going into the fucking finals. He was on an absolute tear the entire time. And everyone's obviously also going to talk a lot about Senzu, but I'm always going to dip back into my bag of a fucking 910 is such a or not 910 fucking Techno 4K is a quality fragger over
Yes.
quantity fragger.
Yep.
Even if he doesn't get a ton, you'll see like his 66 ADR maps. Every single kill he got mattered.
Impact.
100%.
Absolutely all that
Pure
mattered.
raw impact.
And Mizzino is a fucking rock.
Yeah,
A
I mean,
17-year-old.
Showed up. Yeah.
Benzino definitely struggled on Dust too.
The whole team did, really.
Yeah, but like there was a lot of like I feel made a lot of questionable decisions within the mid round. Because he was playing towards long.
Right, right.
And he
He's
would
on
over aggress, he would
full
peek
yeah.
incidents. It was like the reason the Mongols lost was definitely because of their inexperience and their like
Yeah.
youth.
Mhm.
But I don't think there's a single player that's bad. They all played good in most of the
No, they
games,
all played
except for,
phenomenal.
those last two maps.
Yeah.
Which that's just how meters work, how playoffs work. If you play
Yeah.
at the wrong time, you're done. Doesn't matter. No one talks about their run for the next, how many years. People just talk about Vitality completing an entire season without a single loss outside of one singular best of
At the
one.
very beginning, and the first tournament of the season.
Yes, they will. Who did you lose to at the beginning?
God, I can't remember.
It
Wasn't
was
it a
that
Brazilian
Bounty.
team?
Who won Bounty?
No one that matters.
Yeah,
Jamie, pull it up.
Spirit?
Spirit? Yeah, because Donk was disappointed or some shit. No, that was
No, that was the one that,
Bucharest or
yeah.
whatever.
Look
But-
up last Bounty from January.
Yeah, we'll come back.
I was just gonna look at Vitality.
I mean, either way, though, this solidifies, Apex as a top IGL of all time, solidifies the Apex era, solidifies it's a dynasty, and it's everyone else's world to
they
figure
didn't
out.
make playoffs.
Like, that's
Yeah.
it. It's done.
No, I agree with you there in terms of also,
Agreed.
something that's fun to historically mention is that
Used to.
the time that Apex
Yeah.
won a major playing with playing alongside Kenny S as well is not the peak of his career.
Yeah.
The peak of his
No.
career is now.
It is.
For someone who was always, we've sort of left the CSGO era behind us truly and well, and the players that were truly legends within that. And Apex is sort of one of the only, him, Kerrigan, Rain, a lot of the old heads still hanging around, but
It's
to
good to
have a
see,
full
though.
transition of his career is crazy.
Well, it's good to see, right? Because we're finally starting to see players not be determined by their age. It's not
Yeah.
so much how old you are, it's about the time you can put into the game. And reasonably speaking, the older you get, the less time you have to put into a video game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But players like Apex are genuinely getting better in their fragging, their calling, their utility. Everything's getting better. Zontaris is another good example. He's at the best of his career.
I
and
will actually contest you on that point that he's been trending down on T sides for the past.
he
2
has
months.
been trending down. I will give you that. But his
Ever-
peak
ever
was
since
like
they
last
stopped
year.
being-
It's still
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah,
Zontaris.
yeah,
It's still
100%.
Zontaris.
We should probably introduce them.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Everyone that
us.
isn't the two people that
Yeah.
do this.
There's so many people on my channel
Yeah,
that
no,
are
it's
watching
fine.
this. These videos typically do like 15 views. So
It's
That's
one
fine.
bird.
Yeah.
all right. I am CJ. You're
No,
Donnie, and
dude.
now we have
James.
with James,
Dudley.
Dudley,
Tyler.
Tyler.
That's our boy.
Anything you
They're
want to
streamers.
anything you want to plug? Obviously, while you have the moment.
I stream on Twitch, Dudley with 2 underscores. There's another Dudley who won't get his name today. Fuck that Dudley. Come to the real Dudley. Dudley with 2 underscores.
I used to stream on Twitch. I might start doing it again and putting all like the money I would make from that into like men's mental health stuff.
Oh wow,
So
That's very nice.
I'd kiss you for that.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Say hi to your mom who won't watch this.
Hey, shout out Dirty
Swear.
Dogs at
Hi, Tyler's
Laundersland.
mom.
Yeah.
Shout out Dirty Dogs at Laundersland. Also Dirty Dogs at Philadelphia, Jersey.
Shout out to
lost.
Dustman from Solar Gravity as well.
Hey,
Shout out
Dust.
Dust. Love Dust.
So yeah, I mean, how do you guys feel about the rest of the playoffs, though? I won't talk about the major because I feel like that's a fucking like
Well, you could do it. We could talk about it all day, and it's what everyone will only
Yeah.
be talking about. But I mean, we obviously had. I continuously, underrated Furia pretty much the entire
Yeah.
fucking last
The
year.
Yekindar resurgence is insane.
It's that and Molodoy. That's what his boy over there. Fucking
Yeah.
Molodoy being absolutely cracked.
Dude's
Well, you got the
nuts.
resurgence of Yeki the entire time, and you get the resurgence of dog shit liquid Yeki for the last 2 years. It's like he's cracking both ways.
Yeah.
Liquid experience for your
Yeah.
map there.
Just gonna bring back Patsy Rainwaker, baby.
Literally.
Oh yeah, that'll make Furia real good.
Oh yeah.
You go 1860, 1820.
Fury, in case they're
He went 14 straight deaths.
Well,
without
King
seeing
Sparata was costing them a lot, though.
Shout out to Yuri for actually being their other best player
Oh,
for the
100%.
entire event because I honestly was ready to call for his head after the last year.
People have been calling for his head for a while.
Yeah, and to have him step up and actually give a respectable performance
Yeah,
like that is
like,
really, really
finally.
cool.
Also, second one since Fallen played a great job.
Yeah,
He only Cadian wishes he was. Like going over to the rifle.
Yeah.
Dude, he won us like $400.
Yeah.
We did an Airbnb.
He hit our parlay. Yeah.
We did a 3-person parlay on Donk hitting the above on kills, Chopper hitting the above on kills, and Fallen. And Fallen went 27 kills. We needed 25.
Nice.
We needed, baby.
Very
Fallen,
Gamble
Fallen
response.
Where Fury were getting
Yeah.
out the split out, and we just all started going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a 5-7 kill, and like
Yeah.
there's
The
just
most average
Yeah.
nonchalant kill, and we're like,
We lost Gamma.
that was only that was the only one we did too. We were like, let's do another one, and we never did. Probably for better.
Probably for the best, considering how the rest of you won. I
Yeah.
am very much like here for Furia's resurgence because I
Uh-huh.
love Yekender. I love Yeki. I want to see him
Yeah.
succeed. I think he was a symptom of Liquids having really bad systems. Like was not good for him.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, and I guess maybe not jumping too far out of it. We can always go back to major topics. So, you guys think Naf's actually gone?
Yes.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
100%.
Brother's been rotting for about a year and a
Yeah,
half.
get him out of NA jail, like Liquid
I
jail
think-
specifically.
I don't even think Naps Fury's done. I just think he needs a change of scenery. He has
Yes.
complexity, and he's probably going to.
Well, that was kind of
okay.
my.
Who would he replace on Cole then?
I mean,
Who's the anchors on Cole?
So
it was 60, right?
6. Yeah, you can't touch the
You
full
can't.
roster.
No, you can't touch
Yeah.
the
The
Cole.
only person who you could potentially, take out is Knicks, but
I mean, he
We're not
just
getting
got
rid
there
of
though.
Knicks.
He just got
They
there.
just got there.
no.
We have
I
a-
said
Not getting-
potentially.
No,
we have
no.
a friend who would be very much.
I would be upset.
I
Also,
know.
60. Who am I gonna drink beers in? And
I
think about?
I think 60 is doing totally serviceable, and he'll improve.
He
Yeah,
looked
absolutely.
great
He's looked
on the
great.
transferred over to
I think
tier
I
one.
think Knicks just needs more time.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
the
Let him
jump
cook.
from nothing to actual tier one competition,
Yep.
and it's not like his aim was the issue. It was more moment to moment decision making and a lot of his stuff, which can be
And
coached
that
and
point
changed
in
with
time.
experience.
Not everybody's Maladoy. Like not everyone can just hop into
No,
tier
not
one and just go,
everyone's dumb.
especially in North America,
Oh yeah,
where you start at a much like your tier one pros in North America are, I'd say objectively much lower quality on average
Yes.
than European, right? So you have a kid who's played his entire life in North American Counterstrike, and now having to go on the international scale, it's going to take him time.
Well, I mean, also like you guys got to realize he was on like what was it? It was a 3-month period where he went from lag to
right.
a game with
Yeah.
Timbermen,
Yeah.
and then complexity
complexity.
after Frag 18.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
he kind of
What was
just
the
like
event that they did top? Was it Astana? Or where did they go?
PGL Sana they got 4th place.
Yeah, they did
No.
That was the first time for him. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did good. And
They
he
did.
that was his first like sort of break into like
think it was
real
fun.
competition.
Yeah.
They all looked really good. And it was, obviously reassuring for the fact that the team can exist without a liege. I will obviously always point to the fact that the
Yep.
team did exist without a liege for about a year and a half beforehand when they had Fang and they almost beat Simple's, perfect Na'Vi.
Yeah.
I remember that overpass game. But
I think complexity is like the N18 because Liquid has to leave North America.
as
Well,
well as
it's
wild,
Liquid's done.
as well as
Yeah,
wild
Wildcard's
card.
too. Yeah, they're both
Well,
done.
wild card is
sounds like Shane Payton.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't it confirmed that it's peeping for
I
Sana?
don't. I think it's just rumored. I don't think it's actually.
I don't know if that you
Well,
know more than me.
But it's
Yes.
the move that's happened.
It's
Yeah,
rumored, not
It's been
But
rumored
like,
for a
what
while.
if you're Liquid? Like
That's
in the landscape of Counter-Strike right now, what's even the point for them to stay NA? Their players compete and live in Europe.
Oh, that shit's
They're trying to be a
changes.
top
Yeah, it's
5
done.
team.
Yeah.
With the current way that VRS works, I'd rather be a top 5 European team than a top 1 NA.
It's just more slots.
It's just
Yeah.
because if you do dip down, you do have more of a chance to still make it to the major. And plus, if you're a top 5 EU team, you're probably just gonna get stage 3 anyway.
Yeah.
So-
I guess the other question is, are they also cutting Ultimate?
No, I don't think so.
Because who else would you get?
Yeah, and
Right.
on top of that,
They'd probably make a terrible management decision and get Brokey.
okay, for
Oh,
China,
gee.
yeah, there you go.
Booster!
That's I could see it.
Are you shut your
JDM, dude.
Yeah.
GTR.
Hey man, I saw Skadoodle in that show match. And
Wow,
I
he
was
was
And he was the
terrible.
classic.
I
I saw Skiddle.
He
Yeah.
looked just like Skadoodle from every tournament except for the
Monster.
Yes.
It's like that's a Skidoodle I remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember a Skadoodle, but
Yeah.
only with Cam would speak.
yes.
I mean, if you stay EU though, you don't need to get rid of him. You only need to get rid of him if you come back to NA, which means
Yes.
imploding the entire roster, which
Yes,
they're not
Which
doing.
they're not going to
They're not
Because
gonna
you'd
do.
also have to get rid of nerds.
Yep.
Which is so confusing to me how a team like I get that NAF has been on a downward trend. I don't get how a team with fucking twists, nerds, and fucking
Yeah.
Juve can be this bad.
Those three
Yeah.
alone should be able to
Well,
get you
so
those
I mean,
games.
you're not accounting for how like rigorous and tiring boot camp is.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
right?
exhausting.
It's
It's
exhausting.
exhausting.
However, when you
Oh
recover,
my
It really takes it
gosh,
out of you.
dude.
you as a North America to the first major in 7 years, your response to getting 0-3'd is, "We were really exhausted. Are you kidding me?"
Dog, wait,
No, the
Our
real
boot
response
camp
was
made
their
us
CEO posting a fucking ESWC
yeah.
documentary within an hour.
In
Yeah,
the same
literally.
part, in the
In their
exact same
goodbye
tweet.
tweet.
Literally, the
Yeah.
goodbye tweet was like, "Sorry guys, we bombed out." Oh, but did you hear about this cool thing we're doing?
I haven't even watched it.
Joker Steve,
Yeah, I
go
won't- I
fuck
won't.
yourself.
Well, that's not him, but yeah.
He's the one that tweeted it.
It was?
Yes,
Oh, then
that
I'm
was Joker
stupid.
Steve.
I'm stupid.
So yes, go fuck
Yeah,
yourself.
go
Joker
fuck
Steve.
yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
Steve.
but-
What the fuck are you doing?
That's so tone
Yeah.
deaf. Oh my
Probably going for
god.
twist as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Mr. HR. Yeah.
yeah. Where's HR on that one? Is Suhei the HR now? Is that how that works?
No, it's a small company, so HR is actually the CEO.
They can't
of that,
afford it.
but-
Yeah, you're onto it. Yeah.
You can go and talk to him. He won't get rid of you for HR violations.
No, definitely not. He would never do that.
He would
No
never do
company
that.
does that.
No,
Not American
never,
based.
Never.
No.
Not in my life.
Well, one of my favorite things of the tournament was let me do this.
Yeah, I should have gotten
Uh,
my phone. I left it on the other side of the room.
Every time an ad came up,
yeah,
except
Oh,
for
the
except
Web
for the
ad?
Red Bull.
The Red
Yeah,
Bull-
the Red Bull
Red Bull was
commercial we were
fine.
fine with, but
Yeah.
every other ad we booed, and it made me
Booed.
really happy.
Well,
Me
they
too.
had
And
then we
lights
started
support.
a-
They had production.
What was
support
the
for
one that we
ads.
started the
Yeah.
fucking Weber,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
there was the
Weber.
other
Yep,
one
yep.
with the weird like
Yeah,
Green something.
Yeah,
whatever
I know
it
what
was.
you're talking about.
Yeah, green.
Dude,
something.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, you could see the production broadcast, and it wasn't playing the ad there.
Yeah.
And it's like you're
Only-
playing the ad to the people that all spent like $250 minimum
Yes.
Yeah.
to get there. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I don't know, man. Fucking. All right. So I guess other topics from the major that bleed over into off season. We have more roster changes that could potentially be coming down the line with
Yeah.
Falcons bombing out. We
Yeah.
could see Kyosuke coming in for either Tessus or Magisk.
Probably Magisk.
Probably
Probably.
Magisk.
It should be.
That's
after
what I
Tessa's
expect.
showing lately. Tessa's is
Oh
just.
no, say
gone
your opinion,
crazy.
Tyler.
Say your opinion.
Say your opinion. We've had a
Yeah,
talk about this.
Speak your shit.
I think Magis is pretty prolific, but that's
Tyler said, "Oh, I think Magic should get picked up by
Well,
a top
here's
5
Yeah.
team."
no,
we
I
debated
did not
this.
say top five.
No, but you did say
I
that
said
Rops.
Top 10 is just as bad.
Well, no. So I brought up
Honestly,
Rops.
outside top five.
I said Rops was the number one anchor in the world, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
hit Tyler's response was, "Well, what
Wait,
about
no,
Magic?"
I did
No.
Magic.
That's simply
I
And I was
wasn't
like,
there.
"Oh
no,
Wow.
that's simply just not true.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
That's false.
All right.
Slander
So
and
That
libel.
is absolutely
So-
that's absolutely.
so teams that don't make a change. Vitality, Mouse,
Yep.
Mongols,
Yep.
Yeah.
Aurora.
This is going
No,
down
hey,
the top.
hey, I will die on the hill that Aurora. It will never make sense because I just want things to be funny.
That's
Yeah.
Uh, IGLing is seeming to be important, but also less important nowadays. Major becomes a coach. Zontaras or someone who's been mid rounding for
Yeah.
forever takes up IGL. Bring back X Flout, firepower.
oh, dude,
team
agreed.
win.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is going down the list of top 10 in order. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he skips a team, it means no roster change.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I'll stick to top. So top 10 right now.
Well, you're about to get to the meatiest one of them all.
You are. You're almost there. Yeah.
I said the ones that aren't making
Okay,
changes.
wait.
Oh, yes,
So
yes,
why don't we just
So
do this?
let's do the ones that are or should.
Yeah.
Let's start with Spirit.
Well, yeah, Kyosuke potential. Or no, so
No,
they need to.
Magic.
Magis is on the
Magis is
block.
getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him the
He's-
game after they lost. His ass is. He was so not in the mood.
He's
You see the
cooked.
short list
Yeah.
that came out, remember?
No,
Ah,
please share it.
I
You
don't
don't-
remember.
doesn't have to be
You
everything.
remember where he found
But
Magnajos?
yeah, it's remember. There's like 4 players. There's a Spirit Academy player that
I
like,
love
don't
BBT.
remember.
Well,
and
they already
there's,
sold Kaisuke, so they can't do that.
No, they can't do that, but they also have the money to go after anyone they want from any other
Because
organization.
that Kaisuke money.
Yeah.
It was only 2 million for a 19-year-old, or sorry, 17-year-old who's never played a tier 1 game in his
Never played
life.
tier one in his
Yeah,
life.
no, only
And
2
he's
mil.
also, from what I've seen,
Modesty was
a piece of
600K,
shit
by the way.
person.
Yeah, insane. Modesty 600K.
Let's not speculate on
Yeah,
that.
that's-
But from the Twitch clips and all that
It's-
shit.
Let's not. We don't know.
Yeah, there's no way to know. Either way, one of the world's best up and coming talent. But 2 mil for someone who's never played when, like you said, Modesty
Yeah,
600,000.
Moxley was 600K back in the day.
Yeah, dude, come on. Like, what are we doing?
That
And
was
now-
that was Spirit saying, "We know you have the money. We're gonna charge you
Yeah.
oil tax
just due to the
because
rest
we
of
know
the
you'll
market.
pay it."
Rest of the market it fluctuates.
Maybe just
right?
Yeah.
become Brazil.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much all it's gonna
Yeah.
be.
Vamos.
Like,
So-
speaking of that, though, Simple too, right? With FaZe.
My goat is
That's-
washed. My
Yeah,
goat is
he
washed.
is
I
washed.
love him, but he's
I
not
think the
gone.
stage got to him.
It did.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. I think it excited him that he can still be fallible, I guess.
Yep.
I think the way that I put it on my Twitter, that I think is just the best way to put it, is that his ceiling pushes him to take situations and advantages that his floor can no longer cash the check
Yes.
of. Like,
Yeah.
he still has those peaks of those moments of being there, but that floor is just so much more monumentally. Like I hit that no scope on the top of Mirage. My
Yeah.
mom hits that no scope on the top of
100%.
Mirage.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he has the right positioning, the right reads. It is just his shots. He's
Yeah, he-
trying to do too much with it.
He just
Like,
needs to modify his
Also, going
decision
for the
making.
knife
Yeah.
pull up, that was crazy.
It's,
Like, you know,
it's a panic.
could
at
have just
that
pulled out.
point.
You could just pulled out a pistol.
could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the no scope. Yeah, it was a little much.
If you
Yeah.
missed the second one, you're just dead.
But
Yeah, you could.
was he better than Brokey has been for the past year?
FaZe
I
top
think
in the
he-
quarterfinals with Brokey was the.
But do you think the Simple you got in that specific series was better or worse?
I think it was exactly what you would have gotten if Brokey was playing. It would have
I
been
agree.
no different.
I think he was better slightly, but I think hopefully this either lights a fire under Brokey, or potentially I would love to see Brokey to go like Game of the Legion or some shit.
Well, rumor on the road is that Rob's talked to people last night, like fans, and said FaZe is actually working with Navi right now to
To
get
buy
him to
Simple.
be paid out and get him on the roster permanently.
Yeah.
Which Kerrigan has hinted at. Kerrigan has
That's what
hinted at
they
too.
wanted
Yeah.
to.
And they'd be
Because when was the
stupid.
last time Brokey put up a 1.3 in a group stage?
Yeah, I know.
It's been a while.
That's a good stuff.
Yeah,
That's
but
such a
who
funny-
he posts really funny. He posts really funny selfies.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
I like
Ball.
Brokey. I just
Brokey, I
love him.
Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the like clutch man for a year or two on that
Yeah.
team.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was him or no one. I mean, he was the showman for FaZe.
I mean-
Just he's not the same.
And then Twist left, and then Rops left. And
Now,
then
FaZe
he
is a
was
shell.
he was the last
All
one of the
time
three of
Bag
them.
fumble weapons there.
Yes.
Oh, 100%. You let Rops go, and now look at him.
For free.
Like,
On
They
the
yeah.
let
opposite
Twist
end-
go for free.
Yes.
Well,
Who
this
didn't really want to leave. They
No,
just
he did
didn't
not
It
want
was
get
just
an
weird with the
extension.
Game Square stuff. Because
Such a-
no one knew. And then Liquid was like, hey, I know you don't know what's going on that
Yeah.
things, but if you want to guarantee something, you can come over here.
well, does Navi let Simple go for free too, though? You think?
No.
No,
he's
God,
still
no.
under,
Yeah, exactly.
He's
They
still
know.
under contract for
They
another
know.
6 months.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
question.
it's not gonna be something crazy. Like,
No,
No.
I think Navi's like Navi's not gonna bring Symbol back. So
No.
so with like the
We can talk about
well,
We can
I-
talk about
that's
that.
that's the meatiest one of them all, in my opinion.
okay, I don't think they're gonna bring Simple back,
think they will.
but
I think they'll
Speaking
make
of
roster
Navi,
change.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
speaking of
Could be
that.
there's another
out.
chopping block team.
Yeah, because I think pretty much only Alexi B and Bid are safe.
I agree with that. 100%.
Oh, okay.
Like
But
Bid
he's-
is their reign. He's their anchor. He's their legacy team countryman of the organization. Multiple major winners for
Yep.
them. LXCB lets Blade boss him around, and they get along well, seemingly enough. So the real question is
Get to the
just
name.
between what?
Get to the name. Who we cutting? Because I have an idea.
Well, I think honestly, all three of them are on
You
the
think you
chopping
get
block.
You wear the wonderful.
Well, Wonderful
Yeah,
actually.
no,
Jail's
he-
not going anywhere.
to be fair, Wonderful got rid of the perm and started playing slightly better. But
Nah,
it's
I'll give a hot take.
yes.
you were looking at ratings, weren't you?
Yes.
Yep.
You're gonna say get rid of Bit?
Stats Andy.
Outside of Alexi B, Bit is the lowest rated player out of the last 3 months.
Outside
He
of
was sub 1.0 going into playoffs.
He's
Yeah.
0.97 past 3 months.
I don't think you can touch JL either. Genuinely, I think
No.
not to pull the aura card, but he.
Well,
genuinely
wait,
is such a
haven't
good
you
guy
used
for
the
that
glue
team.
man?
No, he is the guy that keeps that team together.
He's the glue man.
He is
Haven't
that
Navi skipped a
the
decent
heart of
amount
that team. I don't think you touch him, and he's been the guy who, in the majors they've won in the past, got them to win those
No,
majors.
he's
Stoner,
an X factor
Melbourne,
player when it comes
Lisbon,
down to it.
100%, especially in
They've done
playoffs.
major-
But who do
Especially.
you even get for
Outside of Wonderful? Like,
Wonderful?
yeah.
3 months.
Who do you even
That's-
get for him?
Yeah, and
That's the issue. There's like a
It's only
serious
Melbourne,
lack of
Estano.
offers
Uh,
in
Yeah.
every market.
They would probably not
So-
do it, but
No,
the one
it
that I
also
would
includes,
love is
Lisbon. because that March 19th.
they would never do it, but
3
Mulligan
months,
if they
12.
bought him out.
Yeah.
And Fury wouldn't let Moldo go. You kidding
No,
me?
I mean it's Navi.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
It's Navi for
I
real.
mean,
They
maybe.
can big dick that org very
Yeah.
easily.
They could.
Probably some talk around IC, I imagine.
I swear to
I don't
fucking
think
God,
you could, but it
if
seems like-
Icy somehow fails upward again, I am going to pop a gasket.
Imagine.
What about
dude.
Yeah.
what about Arfrost?
Is he still alive?
He's playing good.
Is he? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you what team he's on. I
Say
genuinely
it.
don't.
Yeah.
No, because he had like a fucking look up
I'm
Arfrost.
looking up art, not art.
Frost.
Shit. Yeah.
Perry Vision.
Oh, okay.
1.1.
When he got benched, that's the team that Jay went to. But when he got benched, he was still putting up a 1 point.
No, I mean they won
Dude.
that event, but that was also with Dom.
Fuck VP, bring back James. Sorry, that was a hot jump.
What the fuck did
What?
you just say to me, Tyler?
Get James out of my fucking face. If I ever hear
Playing
that
crazy.
name again, I will
I'm
be
not
so upset.
for it necessarily, but I think he's probably in the conversation.
Unless you bring back Overpass, you
Yes,
can't bring
that's
back James or Norbert.
I agree with the Norbert take. Yeah,
Norbert was the best Overpass player in the world for a very half a year.
Excuse me.
For a whole half a year.
Well, honestly,
Was.
I mean, if you look back at Rio, they farmed Overpass.
They did.
I feel like Rio is not exactly a thing we can rely on to be any sort of
No.
reasonable
No.
talking point for how every single team under the sun failed.
No, absolutely not.
That was rough.
I was afraid we were heading there again with Austin for a
I
brief
was
period
also
of time.
afraid
I
of
thought
that.
we were
I
getting,
was so happy it was not the case.
yeah, I thought we were gonna get Rio
Although I
too.
guess really the bottom of the bracket was always going to be a top team that came out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
that's the good thing.
Well,
at
that's
least.
part of that goes back to like the seeding system and the BO1 system, and that I mean that's a convoluted conversation. At a
bubble
minimum,
one.
though, why don't we
Okay.
have a BO5 final for the love of fucking Christ?
Haven't they said the final has to go all three maps like a couple majors in a row before they'll consider it or some shit?
Which is insane, though, right?
The-
What's the point?
We can make it go 3 maps by making it a
From-
best of 5.
From what I understand, like when people were asking Valve, like, "Hey, why is it not BO5?" Their response was, "Hey, we just made the fucking game MR12, so it's shorter. Why would we make the fucking final longer?"
Because
Because the game is shorter and therefore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that I'm not saying fucking anything about my part.
Aren't you,
I'm
Mr.
saying
Valve?
Yeah,
You're
come on,
talking.
David.
Right. But no, I mean like they are trying to tend towards the game itself being shorter. So giving BO5 to the majors would go against what they.
But I also think they don't understand what people want then, which is
Oh wow, what a shot!
Yeah, I know.
Out of touch.
Literally.
What a surprise. Let's go play CSGO on servers right
Please,
Oh, wait.
128. Where'd you go?
I'll just launch CSGO out of my normal console.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I have to
Hold
do
on.
commands and bullshit. You can't just play the game.
Realistically, though, I think it'll probably go somewhere around what ended up happening before with majors when they were like 250K and that before, and they were GSL style, where a couple of years down the line they'll reevaluate their format and they'll probably update it.
I hope
I
so.
think that's probably what we'll end up.
I
seeing.
mean, when did all that changed, like 2018.
No, I don't think it was all this. This was 17, right?
E-League was the first $1 million major.
Yeah, so 17.
E-League Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, so 17 then went. So 3
Oh,
years,
damn.
2 to 3 years of data collection, Valve standard, and
And
then
don't
we get
forget, we only had like one major a year for like 2 years or whatever.
yeah. Now we
Yeah,
have
there's some-
two.
We used to have
yeah.
3
We're
majors.
back to
Yeah.
I
there
know
was
they
a period
like
of time.
rescheduled shit now, so you have a major at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Like,
shout out
that's
to my eternal take of anytime anyone brings up Enter Cloud9's wins in IEM Dallas. That
Huh?
IEM Dallas was after the major at that time, and no one
Yeah.
gave a shit.
Yeah, no one cared. Literally, yeah. It's like
why-
congrats, you won the participation trophy in a way.
And that's coming from the biggest Ents apologist in the world, by the way.
I remember Device doing an interview talking about Astralis. He said, sometimes like before we were like in TSM, we would just go to events and we would just be like, we're just treating this as scripts.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
scripts.
It's true, right?
Speaking of device, that's how you could get for Navi.
I've said that before, but
yeah.
I've been told that it's
That's
a terrible take. So
Here's the thing: does he want out of Astralis now that Hooksy's
No,
signed?
no, he's an absolute fraud. Here's my other hot take of you can't save players because they're fucking stupid, and Device literally chose this multiple times.
I mean, he went to
Oh,
Nip because he
100%.
wanted to follow a girl.
Yeah, no, he went out, he followed a girl to there, then he had the opportunity to come back, and he had literally his pick of the litter of every team in the world, and he goes, no, I want the one that hasn't made a major.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I love Device. Device is my favorite player of all time. I think he needs at least one more season of not missing an event before he can be considered for any pickup. I know there are some people, Donny, that think he's probably should never get a shot to tier 1 again. I think if he has another year, another 6 months of just playing every event, especially if Astralis is playing where they are and playing in all the tournaments, that he'll earn himself a shot.
What kind of team wants to have a player that with major, like a team with
That's
major intentions?
true.
Who wants a player that won't play every tournament? That's insane.
No,
Yeah.
that's true.
Like that's genuinely ridiculous.
The fact that he has twice pulled out of a team before the major,
Yeah,
because he did it like a couple years ago too, right?
yeah, he did.
And so that's like, he's one of the all-time greats, but that makes him an unreliable product.
And
That's
health-
not to say that it's not justified.
Yeah,
he
no,
has
it's
his stuff. It's
entirely
completely justified.
justified.
However, if you're looking at it from a business point of view,
Right, it's unreliable.
like
Health-
that sucks.
health issues are justified.
Yeah.
And consider this as like an injury in traditional sports, right? Let's say this is like an ACL
Derrick
tear
Rose.
scenario.
God,
Derrick Rose.
yes,
Yeah,
Derrick
exactly.
Rose.
Right? They're the same thing.
Lost his ability to bowl
Yep.
because of injuries,
And that's it.
and then everyone lost faith in him. Sure, he has moments like on the Knicks when he
Yeah,
fucking
I was-
dropped
yeah,
like
I was-
60 or some shit, but like he's still Derrick Rose post ACL. It's
No
not
one
the
wants
same
you.
person.
Yeah, no one's gonna want you. That's just
The
not how it
device
works.
is device post Astralis era.
And
I'm
this
just saying,
Yeah.
if Astralis have a crazy upset run, Device wins another MVP.
So that's a big if, and it
it's
won't.
a massive.
It would be at a
Yeah.
it would be at a
Because
it
the
would be at a
org-
PGL.
The Oregon shut him down. I don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen.
They
Sure,
could-
they signed Dookie. What are they having for a
Yeah,
tournament?
they could get bought. They could get bought by Heroic. or some shit,
They're
but
hoping
that
they win
would
the
be-
With
tournament.
all the
to
money
fund
Heroic
themselves.
made selling players.
Yeah.
Heroic's
Yes.
Academy team.
Shout out to Sub Pius finally getting back to another good team.
I
My
know,
fucking
right?
boy. Like
Yeah.
Ents related biases continue to
No,
be right.
To be fair, man, he got cooked with Falcons, right? Yeah,
Yes.
he got treated so poorly on that team. That whole thing before we got the Nico Mondesi version. Don't get me wrong, that team is still cooked as fuck.
Remember when
But the prior
NBK was the
version-
IGL of Falcons?
Oh
I
my
love
god,
NBA.
that
became my goat.
I love Nico Mondesi and I want them to win majors, but like fuck Falcons. I just don't want I know this is a ball. No.
This is an
Everyone,
eagle.
shut up. Everyone majored to this. Some people, very few people that majored to this shit. They'd be like, "Go Falcons!" Like, fuck you. It's a bald eagle for the bald eagle liege. All right. Fuck
Where's
Falcons.
Falcons playing now?
Where
I
Falcons
don't-
playing?
I thought
I
we were
think
supposed to watch Falcons.
I think they're playing tonight, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falcons.
Yeah. They're playing G2.
Oh, CCT.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I am legitimately excited for G2 next season.
You think so?
Because Saul's the coach and such
Because Saw is the coach and I trust Saw with my life like
Yeah.
Ash, and some Pius will be a fundamental upgrade over Hades.
Yep.
Love you, Hades.
Yeah.
Then you also have a coach that is able to work and cultivate talent in order to
And-
help Malbs improve,
Yeah.
as well as Heavy God, who they are both still young in their careers.
Yeah.
And as long as we can somehow get fucking snacks out of this goddamn team,
Yeah.
I I think they almost made playoffs at the major with Hades and snacks.
Do you think Hunter comes back with a new coach and a new IGL, or do you think Hunter is gone
No, he
before that
stays.
happens?
Hunter's been talking about being an IGL for like 5 years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
do you think he does what he should do, in my opinion, is just take the mid round, like the IGL, go to what
He
you're
already
saying.
calls pistols.
Yep, you bring in, he calls
Hunter
mid
just
rounds.
becomes the next brawler.
Yeah, exactly.
Deadass.
Same
Yeah.
thing. He has this mechanical skill. He was the European NAF for years, essentially, in consistency and roles. And he fucking won them multiple tier 1 events on his own shoulders instead of Nico's.
Yeah, and they have he's their only legacy player as
He's
well
it,
for the
yeah.
org right now. But it all kind of depends on what Saw thinks.
It does.
At the
It
end
really
of the day.
does. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be much this coming season. Maybe only a couple quarters, but I think
Oh, I don't think they'll win
by next season they should be looking really good.
Yeah.
I know this is a Counterstrike podcast, but Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton helped off in Game 7 of NBA Finals after slipping.
Oh no, that's
Unlucky.
probably an ACL.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Well, he came in and said his ankle was sore the whole
No.
time.
That's
Yeah,
right. He's been playing sore.
yeah, he's been
God.
playing sore ankle. That's an
Yeah,
ACL.
Damn it, Hilton Magic, help him.
So we lost Jason Tatum
Hilton
and
Magic.
Halliburton.
Come on.
Oh, Halliburton.
How dare yeah. I mean, I don't want players to get injured, but also
Yeah.
he's literally he'll score 4 points in the game, do it in the last minute and a half, and be like, got him top 5 in the league. All hail
Well,
Halliburton.
to be fair, as a Knicks fan,
No, to be
I
fair,
don't know if
to
we're
be
allowed
fair.
to make those.
No, he's a top 20. He's a top 15 in his position and a top 5 clutch player. But he's not a top 5 in his
I
position.
can't wait to add the chapter marker for the random NBA.
You should,
dynasty.
please.
All I care about, I want Shea Gilgeous to get his.
That's fair. No, shuck Shay. Fuck Shay.
Shea Gilgeous is my
Shuck
boy.
Shay. Shuck him up. Put him on a clan. No, but fuck Shay. I want the Pacers to win because I don't want Shay to win because he flops. Just cute. He's a better shooter than Flopper.
He's from the college I went to, so.
Fair enough. Speaking of flopping, G2 is here.
Yeah, G2.
They didn't.
That you?
Dude, they never. We never expected them to even come close
No,
to
I
making
know.
playoffs.
They won more maps than Falcons.
Yeah.
We should do the whole.
Should we?
We touched on it.
We should.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we touch
how
it?
do we fix NA? What's the team? What's the composition? Budget is no issue in general, or for
Only-
the sake of discussions.
I'm only going to start it with this because we're at the end of the major now. More NA tier 1 events.
Yes.
It's not solving much, but the more you bring events home, the
Dog,
more.
you nearly made Donk quit playing CS.
Yes.
So,
No,
I
but-
guess going to bring NA up?
But you have to, yeah, exactly. But you have to bring in fandom. You have to bring in increased viewership. You have to make. Bless you.
Bless you.
Excuse you. Fuck you. And you have to make
now
the
I have
region.
to edit that out.
Yeah. You have to make the region want to play CS, want to see what it's like on the stage. When players, young kids, this is mostly towards the youngest of us all, like when they come to these tournaments and see these players on the stage, they want to be on that stage.
Yeah,
They
sure.
want to be there. And that's like more tier 1 tournaments is a long, like that addresses long, quote unquote, standing issues. But there's way more we can do in the immediate. I just think that's one of the things.
Like
We
that
should-
one kid that he's
Blamed his
2000, but
2000.
because
Yeah. He'll be there one day.
2000 Premier ELO,
Yeah.
not Face It ELO.
and he was like, I'm really good, but I'm 2000 because my teammates are really bad.
And nailed
What
it.
a
Nailed it.
dedicated wham for his life.
Yeah.
Tell him,
That was literally a 12-year-old child. Where's your mother?
Shout out to Team Spirit for signing an academy team
Oh,
of actual
yeah.
toddlers.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
You know,
okay,
They should play in Fragadelphia. Hear me out. That's where
Hey,
they should.
Well, that's what the whole
We need more
VRS
grass.
rescheduling bullshit and how Fragadelphia now no longer is.
well,
it
if
literally-
HLTV did their fucking job,
Yeah, just do your
Fragadelphia
job.
would mean a lot more. Because most of the teams that go to Fragadelphia can't even get VRS rankings because you need 10 games within a VRS ranked event in order to get a ranking in the first place. Even if you go to every Philadelphia event and you make the playoffs, it's going to take you probably a calendar year to get a VRS ranking. And at that point, what the fuck? Like that, you're half the team probably doesn't even fucking play CS anymore because they worked so hard and they didn't get anywhere. So HLTV fix your shit. All you people go to Philadelphia. I think, and I hate
That's
to
a
say this.
rarity.
Doesn't think much.
I think
When he
I think it's time to get M80.
Blown up or
Yeah, more or less. I mean,
That
I do
really
like the
bold.
org. I actually think
oh no, I like
M80 is a great org,
Yeah.
and it's run by great people, and it is, US based. Yeah, woo. But like, I think you need to get Lake on a team that's going to get him a little bit more. a little bit more experience within a good system.
Lake for nerds.
If you can't liquid in NA, I guess in a roundabout way, you
I
make it work.
guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would also shout out Rec for being fucking a rock.
yeah, I think you keep those two together,
Not a
and
big
you look to
switch.
bring in.
I love you, Swish. I don't think he can hang.
No,
I don't
that's
think so either.
you have enough players in North America to make 1.5 top tier 1 teams,
sorry.
but they're all on different rosters, and that's M80's part of that.
No,
Like, they
what
have
we
two
need
of
to
the
qualify
teams we would
tier
need.
I would say they're not.
Tier 1, like complexity.
Complexity.
Complexity's a
Yeah,
tier
Yeah,
1.
okay,
yeah,
then
they
yes,
are.
then
Honestly,
yes.
I would say M80.
To be fair, M80 did start
Yeah.
in stage 2.
M80
exactly,
is
right?
a tier 1 team. They're getting the invites to. Well, I don't know post major. I haven't looked at the VRS in like I've been on a 2-week bender, so I haven't looked at rankings and shit in a while. But I
M80
think
is number
M80 is
30.
going to the play-in for Cologne.
If they're top 30, they should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Potentially.
I
Also,
don't know if they're top 30. I don't think they do because it's 32 teams.
32, yeah.
They're tough.
Like, right? I mean,
yes. No.
The
We're
play-in
not educated.
play-in is 16
but-
teams. 8 teams make it to another group of 8.
Okay.
So that's
24.
24. So M80 is
32.
not going.
Not
Yeah.
going.
Oh.
strong
But
as his, though.
is there anything?
Probably a fission.
Is there anything salvageable about NRG?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude, they just need a better
OC.
map pool. Yeah, they just need a better map pool.
Okay.
Their map pool's dog shit. They've admitted that. Nitro has said it. Energy has said. They just have openly said we
Shaq-
need more experience
Shaq
at
said it.
international, literally, and they just have. They don't have map depth. But I don't think that roster is inherently flawed.
No, not at all.
I think it's fine.
I'm a huge
Yeah.
Hext apologist and will be till the day.
And
I die, but
I stand on Nitro for very obvious costume reasons, like
Also-
go Captain America.
also
you know?
George is a I consider Lake George JBA to be
Yeah.
the like next group of
I
up
think
and
so.
coming riflers from the region.
That should be the core.
Lake,
Ooh,
Lake, JBA, and George.
yeah,
And then you add in Nitro and then Rex.
Rect, yeah.
Yeah, and you got
Anchor.
a 5. Yeah.
Who's offing?
You Jenny
Who is all?
Nitro, so you don't opt.
Hey,
Yeah, it's Nitro's team.
No,
Real
I
opt.
made it work
You
before.
can't-
We'll make it work again.
You can't have JBA and Lake on the same team.
Yeah,
So then you
Yeah,
get rid of
shoot,
JBA
so-
and add an offer.
You
Ozark. He counts
You
as NA.
choose.
Hear me out.
He is getting his 2-year.
Visa,
Well,
yeah.
no wait, his
Oh,
visa,
it works.
is tied to his contract.
OC is the best NA opera. I'm just sick of shit being stupid about this. I understand he's not like the person that we wanted him to be, but objectively and subjectively and any objectively you can think of, OC is the best fucking NA opera.
He's better
And
than
if you
Hauser.
don't think that, you're fucking
You
stupid.
think he's
I'm
better
sorry.
than Hauser. That's
He's not.
no, that's my point. We countered.
Name an NA opera.
No, it's OC.
Name an NA opera.
It's OC.
Name an NA opera.
There aren't any. That's the point.
We don't cultivate them well.
Yeah, like that's the point. It's him or no one.
Austin CS.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
gonna
yeah.
stop you there.
Flop.
Flan, he got it.
Other
One other guy. Well, we're giving Burton out of retirement reaction.
PDR.
Peter.
Pete.
I don't know.
The streamer, content creator.
Truck lover.
Very short stint of
Bro-
energy a
bro-
long time ago.
Okay.
Freakazoid.
He was right.
His name is missing.
Yeah, you are just naming.
Who's
You're
in
going
it?
down the
Yeah,
roster.
He was also in CLG for a little bit.
Oh, he
Who?
was on CLG.
He's young?
Kusa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's on Tempo Storm. He's on
It's
Bad News
one of the-
Bears. Name a NA Oregon 2016.
Player I've known to miss out on an event because he broke his foot on the plane ride.
I was going to
Yes.
say Config broke his foot, but
He broke his hand.
Yeah,
that was
That was
the
right,
plane ride
right.
there.
Yeah,
that was
a fun little
the
night after.
That was something.
Don't do drugs, kids.
shout out
Oh,
to
yeah,
Fire
yeah.
F for being on fucking Fnatic, right?
they just won their first tournament in like fucking God knows how long.
God knows how long.
I mean, I kind of. It's a better fit for Blame Math.
No, they beat Nip. They beat
They beat Nip, yeah, because that's
they
still didn't.
I thought like Navi Junior or some shit. No, Navi Junior. Never mind.
I thought they
My
beat
bad, my
Nip in
bad.
like the semis or whatever the hell. Because other hot take, Nip could be a top 15 team if they got rid of Aerostos or U-Jerks.
I mean, they have a top like Wrinkle's insane.
Wrinkle's insane.
fucking
Shush is a
yeah.
1.2 rated anchor.
yeah, insane.
I don't.
Are we gonna have a Nip jail again? We're gonna have another situation on our
I mean,
hands?
potentially.
Your time
what?
on Nip didn't count.
Rez has a 1.2 or 1.1 rating or 1.08-ish rating on fucking Gamer Legion.
It's like Rez was supposed to be a top 15, right?
Fred's left and he was still like
good.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Yeah, that's the
1.1.
issue.
I mean, the thing is, he's 27. Fucking transition him to an IGL one day.
possible.
Does he
Let
have
him-
the
let him prove
personality?
himself
Does he
up.
have the energy?
I don't know.
I would argue that he's showed it in NIP in the past.
Okay.
I
To
mean,
be fair,
I'm
Gamer
saying that
Legion. To be fair, Gamer
Gamer
Legion
Legion, but
sold snacks as an IGL to G2, so
Yeah,
things have
they're
happened.
good at scamming
That's a
people.
G2 flop,
Yeah.
not a gamer. Gamer was like, yes,
No, that's
please,
the
Chase.
ultimate. That's up
Please
there with,
take them.
that's up there with Navi selling Hetrick as an
no,
offer.
wait.
Snack, I actually
Yeah.
think that was like the kind of the perfect place for Stacks. Like I think after Stacks inevitably gets cut from G2, he'll probably go back to some random
Well,
like tier 2 team and just be like
He'll go to
the guy
9.
who's been playing for years, who can kind
Snacks
of give a general
on
game.
He'll go to
Snacks on
9.
Gamer Legion.
Shut up.
Snacks on Gamer Legion like was not that bad.
Exactly,
He was.
that's-
But
I mean, I know the reason they made the
G2
manager was because of
G2
Nine
right?
Pandas
Yeah.
missing the visas, but like Snacks fucking proved that he wanted in the last game of the qualifiers. Snacks dropped like fucking 27 on Nuke,
Yeah.
throwing balls out. It was
No,
crazy.
he's fine. He's fine there. He's just not on a championship level team anymore. He shouldn't be anyway.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Oh, we're good. We had 27%. I'm just double checking.
Oh,
You just don't ever wanted to
what
drop.
else? What else do we even have to talk about?
I mean, we're just going about making fun of
Just
G2.
yapping.
and
What other
making-
team on there?
Navi.
Yeah, go back.
Did we ever finish?
No, we didn't.
No.
So who the hell replaces Wonderful?
Wrinkle.
OC.
That's not a bad shout.
Wrinkle's a good one, actually. Get him out of nip jail.
Here's the thing.
Get him out of nip jail.
I'll double it up. That entire knit roster explodes, and Snappy goes to G2 and plays the snack.
It only about years too late.
Poor Snappy.
Yeah.
Dog. I literally call him Counterstrike Sisyphus because this man is always fucking open qualifiers, rebuild the team, open qualifiers,
dude.
rebuild the team.
That's Daps,
EU
bro.
Daps, EU Daps.
Yeah.
Yeah, EDAPS. Yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
to Daps for being
Daps is the
first
real-
time I ever saw him at Launders Lane 2. From all of his interviews and everything he's ever given, he seems like this incredibly mild mannered and very
Yeah.
nice guy. I had no idea he was absolutely fucking yoked and like
Yeah.
6
Oh,
feet tall.
yeah.
I'm expecting Stan to just transition to coach so that he can, kick Daps off.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it. The cycle continues.
If I were
The
Daps,
illusion of choice.
I would
Yeah.
fucking hate Stan. I'm sure they have nothing against each other, but if I were Daps, I would like. You know how
You motherfucker, you stay away from me.
like the dude,
Plus,
You're not invited to my wedding.
the dudes in the jail cells that are like working out, thinking about like it has a picture of this dude
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
hate, and it's like you're the reason I'm here. That's why he's so big.
That's why he's yoked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, now the hot take.
Oh.
Wonderful does get kicked.
Okay.
Replaces Ultimate on Liquid.
No.
No?
No.
Fuck no. Why do you replace Ultimate? Why? Why would you even replace him?
That's why I say it's a hot take.
they kind of like
They kinda-
Ultimate shtick got figured out, and
He
now he's
doesn't
just
Send
like,
fit
Ultimate
the
to Nick
timeline.
jail.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good intro.
I'm
Contend for trophies
spitballing
next
see what
season.
sticks.
And Ultimate is not going to contend for trophies next season.
No.
Can we
No,
really
no.
say that after getting 42 kills? Multiple. Okay.
He
Wow.
had
That was a
his
game.
life game, dude.
No.
that was also like his first tournament.
Yeah.
No, I'm starting with
No,
his,
the major
elimination.
games.
Yeah, the last
Yeah,
game.
he's been bad for a while.
Yeah.
I think if Liquid's kind of got to make a choice for this. If they want to say
What's
an
his
A or
rating?
fine, whatever. If they want to,
One.
So
That's
he's
just
just
four
average.
hours.
Last 3 months.
He's just average.
To be
But
fair, that's also
Plus
been
one.
playing in the team that for some reason he is like the only aggressive player in the entire
Yes.
team. It's flashback to when Kindar was still there and he took something like fucking 40% of the opening duels
Yeah.
for the team at the major where he got benched afterwards.
Which, like, I also just think it's not a player's. I think Liquid just has a bad system. I'm going to be honest with you. I just think they don't know how to use their players. I don't think it's like. So maybe you do have them shit
What's their coach?
Mar DeRoven.
No.
DeMars the Rover.
Yeah,
the
DeMars
Mars Rover.
He's an analyst.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
not a coach. He's
Okay.
just an interim.
They're still looking.
Which maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why it was so
honestly,
exhausting.
I wouldn't be surprised if
But how-
Liquid was in a bidding war with
also
G2 over Sol.
Yes,
and-
that was my take forever
Yeah.
ago. Is that some team is going to spend buyout player levels of money to buy a GM coach style person like Asher Saw because
Yeah.
that is the future.
Yeah.
Cyclone has shepherded Mouse from a farm team to a team that a major winning rifler chooses to join after being kicked. Navi has obviously been shepherded by Blade for ever since fucking they were on Flipside, and he
yeah.
basically raised the entire major winning Navi team. Fucking Ash has turned Gamer Legion from their one fluke run in Paris to a sustained name that we all still know about to this day.
Mhm.
It's the GM coaches of the future, sort of.
he's not a very popular name right now. But if you go back far enough, you look at a guy like Zonic. He completely changed the way the entire Australis team played. He was the one who went in and got Glaive.
Do we really want to But
But are you
Sonic got
he's-
Falcons.
yeah, how
Well,
does he
now,
actually
yeah,
get
but
No,
out?
I
the
said
back-
I
the back
said
is
I
built
I
for
thought
straws.
that's popular name
Yeah,
now.
we're at first. Yeah, it is public
Yeah.
name because of it. Yep, 100%.
Yeah. But no, Liquid needs a fucking coach.
A Liquid needs a coach, and they
Liquid
need to
needs
give
a
Suai time.
roster.
They need someone with actual vision.
Yeah, that's
I
the issue.
coach. I could see.
Yeah, you said you weren't Moses.
What is that? Oh,
Moses already tried that.
Not the caster coach curse.
We
Yeah.
already tried. We are.
Oops.
Sponge wing.
Well,
What,
I
Sponge
mean,
did
he
what? He's
he
gonna
was
coach
basically the
FlyQuest?
reason that Talon got signed to that roster, but then Talon also fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Shout out to Acor, the junior of you.
There you go.
I was on a hype train for A4 for so long.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna break through. It just never did.
That my entire response to
close.
those like culture moments that they were playing during the fucking major, where they said Stewie's C9 clutch was a 9 out of 10, but some random play against Gamer Legion at the Paris major was a 10 out of 10, where fucking Kiaz and Acor were almost major winners.
That is a
Ridiculous.
crazy ultimate timeline.
Hey, I mean, listen, there's a lot of that you could think about.
Like,
There's a
yeah.
lot more than just that.
I mean,
True, I mean Norbert's a major winner, but
What?
Norbert's a major winner.
Yeah. Schneider's a major unit, right?
yeah.
Leave my mother's maiden name out of this.
Now I know all your passwords.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. I don't even know them.
How do you reset them?
It's really annoying. I lose a lot of time in the day to it.
I got so many emails.
I actually have an email
Oh shit!
dedicated
I
just
just
for this.
It's called the recovery at Gmail.
There you go.
Recovery. We went through Mal. Did we talk about Mal's at all?
No.
Yeah, just take
There's
time.
there's not a ton to
They could have
say.
got the exact expected result. Like,
Yeah.
they took the long way to get there, going 0-2 in their BO1s, but like
What's
top 4 losing to Vitality in 3 maps. That's probably
Biggest shocker was that, I mean, FaZe out. Well, I wouldn't even say it was a shocker. I think the biggest upset was Spirit losing to Maz, but I wouldn't even call that an upset. I don't.
Also considering that Jimmy and Torzy were sub 1.0 going into
the
play.
Yeah.
only reason that
Yeah.
it was considered an upset. It was that Spirit were favored was because Mouse looked so bad in the
Well,
beginning of the first stage.
Spirit
yeah.
is also. I mean, going to that
Spirit
major,
didn't,
Spirit was the
boot
better
camp.
team in performance, but I wouldn't say that's an upset. I'm like, oh my god, 80-20% towards. No, it was like a 60-40 kind of thing.
Here's the thing. Currently in the VRS before tomorrow, when it gets updated, Mal's are 2, Spirit are 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
it
there
should
you
have been
go.
that result
Okay.
Yeah.
on paper.
I guess the only other one I'd say maybe is depending on Furia, Pain, how you see it. I like Pain more than Furia.
I have been.
I like Payne's story.
So
I have been on the pain train since last year.
Yeah,
I literally I called them the best team coming out of our hemisphere at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Before they had
Yeah.
PGT, when they still had Kawaz, because they made me believe so. Them and MIBR really showed potential at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Because I'll always be a safe / drop apologist, because that was the last time Fury was competitive before this major was the Art, Yuri, Queserado drop and safe roster
Fair.
that made quarters or semis.
Well-
And now Payne actually delivers on some of that potential. DGT was the best player out of
Yeah.
9Z alongside NQZ. You got Davideus coming in, being, jokingly Chilean Elige, but also not jokingly, and he was a bit unstable. And then Snow being a young anchor growing into a lot of things under Big Zera. I think that hopefully they will become a top 10 consistent threat next season.
I think they
but
will.
I hope so. I think Fury was honeymoon period. A little bit of, I mean, we'll see. But I do wonder how much of it was just honeymoon period. International stars come to a roster,
Yeah.
but it's also the same roster where their big star rifler refused to be on international rosters for years, and that org has treated him very openly horrible to the point where they won't even let him see his mother.
I don't know about that.
Well, that was out. Of
Yeah,
the-
that was
Yeah, it was
recently.
confirmed.
No, I genuinely have no idea. what you're
Oh,
talking
so
about.
that was a confirmed interview when the Furia contract expired for Queserado.
Queserito.
Dude, I'm thinking of Taco Bell. He and a bunch of he came out in interviews. He's like, Furia has treated me very horribly. They've restricted my ability to see my girlfriend, my mom. They don't let us drink the day before or after any games because they think it affects our ability to play. Very strict military style regimen.
Mhm.
It was just a very mentally abusive relationship between the org and him. And then what does he do? He signs anyway.
Well,
So
Yeah, I was gonna
that's the
yeah.
device.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
say if you're a player.
No,
Sorry,
you
dog.
can't.
You
Sounds
can't
like
say
a real womp womp.
it really
Womp
was.
womp.
That's
Like,
it's you
yeah.
did
I
to
don't know.
yourself.
Fucking
Yeah.
sign any of the 80 contracts that you're on.
But to be
Literally.
completely fair, Brazilians going to Liquid has not had a good history.
We talked
No,
about
we
it.
talked about this.
Yeah, we
High
did talk about
Skulls.
We talked about this on our own.
Steel,
Actually,
Skulls,
Yeah.
Taco.
There was the
Colin.
conversation about using like
I will die on the hill that the Grim Stewie 2K fallen roster of Liquid was not as bad as as everyone remembers it to be. Because the event before he got fucking cut, Stewie blitzed up mid on Dust 2, triple degged fucking major winning Navi. Like they were way better than they should have been.
The MIBR
That's fair.
roster with Stewie and Tark was also better than people remember. People think of it as a complete
They
failure.
were-
They were
They're like top four.
they were a
most of the
quarter.
time.
Yeah, they were like a consistent
Semi-quarters
quarterfinal
and
team.
semifinals. But when people talk about it now, is like they were like an awful team. They weren't.
we need more. I agree. This was mentioned to us before, like mixing the America teams, because realistically we say NA, but it is the America
The
slot. We are
Americas.
South American and then North American. Regardless how you feel about that, that's never changing.
Yeah.
So
We're
why
not
don't we
going
just
Portuguese though.
no.
Sorry.
But
No,
why don't
I'll do
English?
Spanish, not
No,
Portuguese.
no.
But yeah, we need to start combining the all stars between South and North America. It's just unfortunately, like we said, Liquid. They tried that 3 times. Didn't go well. Any of those three.
I think that was a Liquid issue, and
Yeah.
It seems like I mean, we joke about Astralis doing absolutely butt fuck nothing for 5 years, but the last time Liquid was in a grand final was the Grim Elite, the Grim Fallen iteration
Yep.
of Liquid in 2022, and before that they had not won an event since
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So they have
Didn't-
not done nothing, but for an organization we hold with championship aspirations from the name value and players, sometimes they
They've
have
done
not
that.
done much.
what year was it when Nitro came back to Liquid for like 6 months?
That was during
Went to
the
EPL.
Yeah.
Went to
Yeah, that was
EPL, made EPL finals, and lost to Vitality.
Yes,
What
I
was that
remember.
before or after Fallen?
That was after fall.
That was
That
the
was when
place.
Kindar and
Well,
Patsy or Rainwaker time, because then
Yes.
Kindar became the IGL afterwards for
That's
some
right.
fucking
I
reason.
think that was
how much would
22
these
or
be
23.
Valorant in like 2021, so it would have been like 2022 probably.
Yeah, because he kept hopping back and forth because
Yeah.
the Valorant season ends like after a
Blew up
month.
that 100 Thieves roster as well. But unlucky, only made two.
Yeah.
Fuck Fallon.
Should have won that.
But I miss 100 Thieves. That was a
UK
good
fast
roster.
ride.
Nate Shot,
Yeah.
please come back. Bring your money to NA again.
I just want Australia.
I do want to.
Okay,
You talking about that 100 Thieves, or you talking about Brazilian 100 Thieves?
Yeah, no, like the one everyone knows. Like they had a pretty. At the start of Valorant, they signed
The-
like
the
a-
Red
Oh, we're talking about Valorant.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about.
Well, we're talking about
Oh,
Valorant?
sorry.
Briefly, because
I don't watch
Nitro was
Valorant.
on the team.
I know nothing.
Boo!
Fuck you, Valorant.
Fuck you.
No, I
So,
mean Valorant
Fuck
also.
you, Tyler.
What I will say,
Okay.
well, we can talk about Valorant in the sense that
Hey, what's
North
your
America
name?
lost to Fix NA. Like we lost all our tier up and coming to talent.
Yeah, we lost the generation.
Two
But
Valorant,
also,
yeah.
majority of them were match fixing.
Oh no,
Yes.
we lost match fixers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And now they're dealing with those repercussions right now.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And that's why Sean Garris is no longer.
Yeah,
with
that 5.5 minute video he posted on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like talking about it.
I
Bring
watched
back
that
Sean
in
Garris.
the Airbnb
I mean,
master.
it's totally not like Richard Lewis gave all the information for the fucking match fixing investigation years
Not at
ago,
all.
right?
Yeah,
He's
not
sick.
at all.
Hello.
He's
Do
doing
something.
It's funny.
No, give me your image rights.
Yeah. That's the one.
There used to be the complexity manager talking about that.
Yeah, Messi also.
Messi,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
He was with who I think Heroic at the time.
Totally not who I'm phantom quoting every single time I sound intelligent about the scene.
No, wasn't that when he was
He wasn't with complexity? I don't think yet.
No, that wasn't it on his time with ESL.
No, he was with an org. I don't remember which one. I think it was Heroic. He was saying like they signed it, but like technically speaking, they had already given their image rights to the org. Like they didn't have
Yeah.
any actual.
A bunch of the players didn't sign the con. He mentioned it on the Talking Counter episode that he did like a couple of weeks ago.
Weird, man.
Mm.
I don't know anything about it personally, so
No,
can't
I
speak
obviously
on it.
can't
Yeah.
speak to something I'm horribly uneducated on. But
Valorant sucks. CS is better.
yeah,
Okay. Unironically though, I did show them this tweet. I forget it was some random like Twitter account. They posted the screenshot of the final viewership because Valorant had their finals. CS was at almost 300,000. Valorant was at 67,000. The
What I will
viewing
say-
disparity
Yeah,
is
I'd never considered
insane.
Yeah.
What I will say.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not really a Valorant apologist. They're completely different games, whatever. It's not like this is the Valorant major. This is just like a regular.
Oh, it's just a random event. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Okay,
sorry,
sure.
the
Yeah, yeah.
viewership for
They'll have
PGL
like-
for
yeah,
PGL
granted, they'll have like
Astana
four
didn't match.
national
See, I didn't even know
But-
that. I had no idea if this was a random.
Yeah,
event.
no, it's not.
Yeah,
It was a relatively smaller event. It's not like Masters level. They call it
No,
Masters level.
but we don't have to keep talking about Overwatch, Counterstrike.
Yeah, exactly. What else? What other teams? Are there any other teams in that top 10 that we didn't talk about?
Top 10.
for
Furia's
champions?
top 10.
We did-
But
we
they're
did say
fine.
that.
They made their change.
We didn't.
FaZe,
Probably simple if they can get
if they get simple.
I mean,
okay, if they
yeah.
don't get simple,
They bring Brokey back for coaching. I
But
don't
you
know.
can't. The
For
For
problem.
coaching.
No, I mean, sorry. Like they've been coaching him this entire time,
Oh,
and maybe
yeah.
they bring him back after a change in mindset or some shit.
I mean,
don't
there's
know.
three
Maybe.
options.
He's still there. He's still signed.
You either get Simple now, you get Simple in 6 months, and unfortunately
For
have to
cheaper.
find the one random player who's probably Dexter, unironically, who'd be willing to ball out for 6
Oh my
months,
God.
knowing that he would not be able
Poor
to stay.
fucking
Here's
Dexter.
the
I know,
thing.
right? I know.
We saw what Dexter can do with
With-
no pressure.
They can win a major.
Yeah, no,
They
I
could.
will.
If he plays for
Uh.
6 months with no pressure, knowing he's going to get replaced, he's going to be a 1.6 offer.
Shout out to that heroic team. I will always
Dude,
love
yep.
you.
He's got fucked. He's one of the players.
Yeah.
But like the third option then is also okay. Who do you get to replace Brokey and not have Brokey? They're not going to bring it back. Not after this.
No, not at all. I love Brokey though.
I know, me too.
Another player who's probably just going to go to another team, fall out, and come back to tier 1, but
Yeah.
just not working anymore.
Yeah.
I just-
We didn't really talk about Aurora beyond basic speculations, but I mean, they have a limited pool of people to choose from
Yeah.
anyway.
It's the
Because
nationality problem.
they want to stay.
Yeah, they want to
Yeah.
stay Turkish.
And I
I
get
mean,
that. I
unless-
respect that.
Unless they bring back Exxon, they're probably not making a roster change.
I
It sounds like, from what I
But-
understand, that is pretty.
Okay,
Pretty burned. And I'll also state that their trend for the past multiple seasons of being a tier 1 team has been doing really well at the beginning of the season, burning out towards the end, but they've been extending the point to which that burnout affects them. Last year they didn't even make Shanghai, but had a couple trophy contentions early on in playoff runs. This time they had trophy contentions, sustained it longer, and actually made the major this time and were close to making playoffs. So I imagine that if they keep the core that they have now and are able to improve their endurance, they should
Crazy.
make playoffs at the next major if they're able to continue their trajectory. Because as long as Wacadia can reduce his overall errors, because he has same rating as Zantaras. If you look at it, he just makes more errors. And fucking Joda is a really good floor raiser. I was
Hey,
scrolling.
fun fact, Bastia lost
Bestia.
43.
They lost 40. No, not.
Or not ranking
They,
points,
they lost
slots.
43 ranked slots.
VRS.
Legacy. Let me scroll all the way up. Legacy's at number 17 in the world. Bestia,
That's crazy.
98.
Dude, this VRS system is
Which,
so fun.
good luck now for next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also mentioned that most of the invites for next season go out in July.
Yeah, they're fucked.
Basically, it's locked in play for whatever the ranking is now determines like half the invites for next season.
Yeah, it's what.
To be fair, I wouldn't say Bastia is a team.
I wouldn't say they're great.
No,
I wouldn't say
But-
they're a team deserving
Well,
much more of rank
but
90.
but their
They-
results
They kind of get screwed
for
up.
administrative reasons that they did not maintain. If we're looking at purely in the server stuff, the results that they
Players
earned
got screwed
should
up.
have made them at least been a borderline team that occasionally got invited to events
Again,
and get what VRS points.
good point.
Well, I mean, they won't have visas to get there. So.
As they stopped posting them on Twitter.
They have visas to watch the flag events.
That's true.
They can't play. They don't
show up to watch.
You can look, but no touch.
I mean, that's just the symptom of the VRS not being optimized properly, because that should not
No.
happen. You should not be going from top 32 to fucking that, all because you didn't make a tournament because of visa administrative issues. That's not on the players. Say what you want about the org, but that is not on those players.
No, that's not up.
Well, their ranking has nothing to do with it either.
No. Hey, Ince Academy is only 5 spots behind Bestia.
Yeah, maybe they'll sign them.
Rip in peace ends.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, that's Ince Academy.
No,
but
in
actual
general.
ends.
Yeah.
Actual ends.
Fnatic beat Ents.
Fnatic beat ends.
If
They're still on ends?
Yes. It's still the same roster that like.
Yeah, so it played Kaspersky, Pody? No, they got rid of Pody, right?
Yeah, I think they did.
Glaive.
Yeah, Glaive, Kaspersky, fucking
We're scrolling far.
Glaive, SDY, Pody,
SDY still plays on.
yeah, Natsu and Kaspersky.
Oh my god. I didn't know that SDY still played.
Wait, where's Chungus Warriors on that right now? 30.
Chingus?
Yeah, it's
Being-
Chungus.
you're being
38.
dead ass right now.
They're one ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
You're being dead ass right now.
Which I don't know if they deserve 38.
No, I don't know.
I'd rather talk about Ty Lue.
No, I just was curious because it was on my screen. I mean, Tai Lu is the better team, hands down.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, the only Asian team we should talk about is Mongols. Unironically,
Yeah.
like,
Unironic.
and going back to the Aurora thing too. What excuse does Turkey have if Mongolia can figure it out? That might be a hot take, but I don't know.
Personality.
Yeah, right. That's probably what it is. It's Turkish personalities always got.
Aurora's a bunch
all-
They're also
older.
I'd
very.
say
They're
before-
also. I will also
no.
state that all of Aurora is significantly older than them,
They
Yeah,
are.
and a
yeah.
bunch of 21 and 19-year-olds aren't going to miss their family the same way a
No.
34-year-old man with 2 kids does.
Before the,
Absolutely
like,
not.
like before the majors, though, their results were relatively similar. This is like, in fact, it was just mainly that they kept beating each other in quarterfinals. And
Yes.
the Mongols would beat them and then get eliminated by whoever they drew in the semifinals.
Actually,
Yes,
didn't
until Falcons came along, they were a top 4,
Yeah.
top 5 team.
didn't
alongside
Aurora
Mongols.
usually beat Mongols? Like,
I
wasn't it
think
like it was like 5-3 or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
as
They were
it
close
early
to
in
the
the
states,
season.
but like,
Yeah.
I think it was the last
No.
2 times they played. Mongols had beaten them.
They were trending up.
I mean, Aurora's still going to
They're
be
good.
like they're a playoff team who, if they hit the miracle run, would win a major. They need a miracle run, like Dark Horse style, all 5 popping the fuck off at the same time.
Yeah,
But they could. I mean, it's
yeah, as long as Wicadia can reduce his shout out to B-Trams for his bozo deaths.
yeah, exactly.
And Yoda or Jota is a really solid healer. I keep saying
Same
Yoda in
difference.
all of my
Yeah.
videos.
Yoda.
Because then I also think about the Brazilian player, what maybe he's Portuguese or
This is not the CS player you're looking for.
no.
Right.
Oh yes, cats. Well,
I can't. My voice is shot.
no, the voice
Yeah.
your shot. We've been yapping for a while. Do
Yeah.
you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I want to eat. I also got to call my father.
Yes. Oh, cat.
I will say Aurora and Mongols only put each other twice this season. It's split 1-1.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's not right.
Yeah.
No, he's looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in PGL
So why
Astana.
don't you do this? Click on this.
And go to matchup
You go
history.
to-
There's a versus thing at the bottom.
I'm not versed in
He's
HLTV.
learning, Chad.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here it is.
No chat.
Oh, wait, but not-
It's
Coming
show
out of
all
his
heads.
Yeah.
hamster working overtime.
Yeah. I know. Yes. PGL Astana. Mongols won in Katowice this year.
Also, it
EF
wasn't this
won.
season. It extended outside of this season. I
Oh,
thought it was
yeah.
this season.
Huh.
Dude, that's the Mandela effect type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
feel
this
like
has been a long
I kind of feel like I
season.
stole that
You know the
stat
Donny
line
one.
from Talk
From
Counter.
I was gonna say you stole it from the gods who spoke it into your brain because
Well,
it's
I
fucking
am
wrong.
schizophrenic. So.
Oh, those gods.
Yes,
Yeah.
those gods.
Yes.
My
I've been
favorite
watching
line.
all
You
them,
want to
but
get a
I've been-
burger? I want to get a burger.
Yes, we're gonna get you food. So thank you very much for watching us talk for an extended period of time. This will be recorded or this uploaded whenever. I've been CJ.
I'm Buckethead.
James or Kirsten.
Dudley.
Tyler.
All right, have a great night.
Have a good night.